Hey girlies, welcome back. And if you are new here, I am so glad you found this today because this video is one that I think is going to genuinely change how you approach your makeup routine. We are talking about 5 makeup mistakes that are instantly making you look cheaper than you actually are. And I want to be really clear about something before we dive in. This is not about shaming anyone's taste or telling you that the way you do your makeup is wrong. This is about understanding the visual psychology behind what reads as polished and elevated versus what reads as overdone or unfinished. Because the difference between expensive-looking makeup and cheap-looking makeup is almost never about the products you are using. It is about specific application habits that most of us picked up without anyone ever explaining the why behind them. So stay with me because once you see these 5 things, you will not be able to unsee them. Mistake 1 is the one I see most often and honestly the one that makes the biggest difference when you fix it. It is foundation that does not match your neck. I know this sounds like such a basic thing, but you would be shocked at how many people are walking around with a face that is 2 or 3 shades darker or more orange than their neck and chest. And here is why this happens. Most of us test foundation shades on our wrist or the back of our hand, which is almost never the same color as our face. Or we buy a shade that looked right in the store under artificial lighting and never check it in natural light. The result is a visible line where your face ends and your neck begins, and that line immediately reads as amateur, as unfinished, as the kind of detail that someone with real makeup knowledge would never let happen. The fix is so simple, and once you know it, you will wonder why nobody told you sooner. Always test your foundation shade on your jawline in natural light. Your foundation should disappear into your skin at the jaw, no line, no contrast, no transition. If you already have a foundation that is slightly off, you can blend a small amount down your neck and onto your chest to create a seamless finish. And if the shade is genuinely wrong, mix it with a drop of white or dark mixer to adjust it rather than buying a whole new bottle. A matched foundation is the single fastest upgrade you can make to how expensive your makeup looks. Mistake 2 is one that I think a lot of people are going to recognize in themselves, and I say that with so much kindness because I made this mistake for years. And the frustrating thing is that it is one of those habits that can take a really polished base and completely undermine it. It is overdrawing your lips in a way that creates a visible gap between your liner and your natural lip line. Lip liner is one of the most powerful tools in your entire makeup kit. Used correctly, it creates definition, structure, and that full sculpted lip that reads as genuinely polished. But the moment the liner visibly extends past your natural lip shape, especially when the product fades throughout the day and you are left with just the liner outline, it immediately reads as cheap and dated. The elegant fix is to line just at or barely inside your natural lip line, not outside it. If you want the appearance of fuller lips, use a slightly deeper shade of liner to define the outer edge and then fill your entire lip with a nude or your natural color before applying your lipstick on top. This creates dimension and the illusion of fullness without that telltale overdraw line. And always finish by lightly blending the liner inward with your finger so there is no harsh edge anywhere. Mistake 3 is about blush placement, and this one is so important because blush done wrong is one of the fastest ways to make a full face of makeup look cheap and costume-like. The most common mistake is applying blush too low on the face, dragging it down toward the jawline, or concentrating it in a stripe across the middle of the cheek. This placement pulls the face down visually and creates a heavy, flat look that ages you. It also reads as a very outdated application technique. The placement that reads as modern, fresh, and genuinely expensive is higher and lighter than most people are used to. Think of where you naturally flush after a walk outside, right on the apples of the cheeks, sweeping upward toward the temples and slightly onto the nose bridge. This placement lifts the face, adds warmth, and creates that healthy lit from within look that is the signature of every polished, elevated makeup look you have ever admired. Apply it with a light hand, build it slowly, and always blend the edges until there is absolutely no definitive line where the blush begins or ends. Blush that is blended seamlessly always looks expensive. Blush that has visible edges always looks cheap. Mistake 4 is about mascara, and specifically about what happens when mascara clumps or flakes and nobody tells you about it throughout your day. Clumpy, spidery lashes or small black flecks under your eyes are one of the most distracting things that can happen to a makeup look. And the thing about this mistake is that it is almost entirely a technique problem, not a product problem. The most common cause of clumpy mascara is applying too many coats too quickly without letting each layer dry properly, or using a wand that has accumulated too much product on it. Here is the application method that creates clean, separated, actually elegant lashes every single time. Before you apply mascara, take a clean, dry spoolie and brush through your lashes to separate them first. Then apply your first coat of mascara slowly, wiggling the wand at the root and pulling upward. Let it dry for a full 30 seconds before applying a second coat. 2 clean coats will always look more expensive than 5 clumpy ones. And here is a tip that changed my lash game completely. After your mascara is fully dry, take your clean spoolie again and brush through your lashes one more time. This separates any lashes that stuck together during application and gives you that perfectly fanned, individual lash look that reads as genuinely polished. Mistake 5 is the one that ties everything together and honestly the one with the highest impact because it affects your entire face rather than one specific feature. It is setting powder applied too heavily or in the wrong places. Powder is essential for longevity and for controlling shine, but when it is applied with a heavy hand or dusted all over the face, including areas that should stay dewy, it creates a flat, chalky, mask-like finish that looks anything but expensive. And the worst part is that it tends to get heavier throughout the day as it settles into fine lines and texture, making everything look older and more overdone as the hours pass. The areas that should always stay powder-free or very lightly powdered are the tops of your cheekbones, the inner corners of your eyes, the high points of your nose, and your Cupid's bow. These are the areas where natural light hits your face and where a slight luminosity reads as healthy, youthful skin. Heavy powder on these spots kills that effect completely. Apply your setting powder only where you genuinely need it, your T-zone, under your eyes if you have concealer there, and the sides of your nose. Use a small fluffy brush rather than a big powder brush so you have precise control, and press the powder into the skin rather than sweeping it across, which disturbs your base and creates that powdery heavy look. When powder is used strategically rather than globally, your skin looks like skin, and skin that looks like skin is always the most expensive finish in any room. So here is the full picture. 5 mistakes and 5 elegant fixes that will completely change how your makeup reads to everyone who looks at you. Match your foundation to your jawline in natural light and blend it seamlessly into your neck. Line your lips at your natural edge and blend inwards so there is never a visible outline. Place your blush high on your cheekbones, sweeping toward your temples for a lifted, modern look. Apply your mascara in clean, separated coats and brush through with a spoolie when dry. And use your setting powder strategically on shine-prone areas only, leaving your high points luminous. None of these fixes require new products. None of them require more time. They just require knowing what you are doing and why, and now you do. Expensive makeup is not about the brand on the label, it is about the understanding behind the brush, and you now have everything you need to make every single makeup look you do from here on out read as genuinely polished, elevated, and intentional. Keep glowing, girls.